I previously did a video where I built a platform for my son's new bed. I also said I'd be doing a PVC one for myself. To see how I do this, stay tuned. This is going to be the first in a multi-part series of videos. I'm not sure if I'm doing 2 or 3 videos, but it'll be multiple, so watch for that. For today, I'll be building just the bed platform, mostly because I need a new bed as quickly as possible, which could be a situation some of you might encounter. So let's get started on this very simple and very basic PVC bed frame. Though this bed platform is a simple project that I can picture in my head, I'm going to still sketch it out because I need the sketch to help me with designing the additional features I'll add in upcoming videos. I'll now use this sketch to figure out what parts I need. I'm not familiar with what diameters PVC comes in versus what size my local hardware store carries, but I'll need a larger than usual size, so I'm off to the hardware store to check out the PVC. The size of the PVC matters only in the sense that I don't want it too small, but I felt 3-inch PVC should be appropriate for a bed frame, trying to not overbuild it. Also, you may notice the PVC parts don't quite match the list on my sketch. I'll tell you why in a minute. When picking up the PVC at the hardware store, I had the employee cut the PVC to a shorter length that would fit in my car. At home, I could handle these shorter lengths on my table saw. I'm going to cut the pieces for the basic frame first, which is a simple rectangle. I'm now cutting 12 44-inch slats from lumber I recycled from a discarded shelving unit. Each slat will be 2.5 inches wide and 3/4 inches thick. These slats are what will support the mattress. Before building the rectangle, I need to cut slots into the pipes for the 2 longer sides of the rectangle. These slots will hold slats that are meant to support the mattress. The slots I'm cutting can fit the slats loosely, but not too loose where it could rattle. First thing I'll need is this stick. As I cut slots, this will slide into the previously cut slot to help keep the round pipe level, so the next cut will line up with the previous cut. For the stick to work, it needs to be cut to the same thickness as the table saw blade, and the width must be the same as the height of the blade from the table saw tabletop. To make cutting quicker, I'm marking each location on the table saw where the fence should be to make each cut. I'll only need to measure the first 3 slots, since cutting the 4th, 5th, and 6th slots is just a matter of turning the pipe around. These are the markings to cut 3 slots, 3/4 inch wide, 7 inches apart from left edge to left edge of the slot. Cutting the slots starts at 2.5 inches from the end of the pipe. I'll reposition the fence to each mark on the table saw to make each cut. After the 3rd slot is cut, I'll turn the pipe around and reverse the direction of the fence placement to do the last 3 slots. When done, the short ends of the slots should all be in line with one another. To cut the short end of the slot, I mounted a round cutter from a Dremel tool onto my handheld drill and finished up the last of the cuts. The cutter is wide, so it cuts past the end of the other cuts, but that should be okay. The plastic tends to melt together while cutting, so I'll have to bang on each cutout to remove it. The slats fit slightly loose into the slots, but that should be considered a perfect fit. I'll assemble this simple platform, which you'll see is a majority of the work and materials for this project. Two pieces that I needed to shorten are the head and foot ends of the frame. These are the two pieces holding up the wood slats here in this shot. When they're connected to the frame, they dictate how far apart the longer PVC pipes will be. Once I had assembled the frame, I found there was too much play and the wood slats could slip out of the slot, so it was necessary to bring the longer sides in slightly. I ended up cutting off 1 inch from the head and foot pieces. The last thing I need is the support legs that lift the platform off the ground and provide support for the long length of PVC pipe. I initially planned on using 6 T's in a snap-on configuration to make assembly easier. Then I went to the hardware store and saw how expensive just one 3-inch T was. After some weeks of searching, I found similar T-joints at the hardware store, but with a different fit. They are quite loose, but since they just sit on the floor and hold the frame off the ground, they should work well for what I need. Similar to snap-ons, I'll need to cut a section off so the T can be pressed into place. The amount removed will require the cut opening to not fit over the PVC pipe unless it's stretched open. This will keep the T from falling off when the bed is lifted off the ground. One other cut I had to make, because the T is too wide to fit between the slats, is to cut some of its width off using a hacksaw. Once all the T's are mounted, the bed frame is basically done. I'm also getting a panel to cover the slats so the mattress will have a smooth surface to rest on. So this is it, my new platform bed. Nothing exciting yet. I still haven't picked